Hello and welcome back to another session with the vampire therapist Sam. I am still Shimon. I haven't reached the depths of therapy which would change who I identify with or as, and therefore I bid you welcome to this joyous time of mental health awareness, World of Darkness, and of course, vampires. Seem to be having a lot of S's. Maybe play some ministry or something. We'll see. So, let's get back to it.
I bid you good evening, Samuel. Rest in peace.
Yes, we shall rest in peace.
You too, Andy. Well, I guess it's time I got me some grub.
Hunting. Music.
Well, that's it, I guess. My first client. Can't believe I'm doing this therapy stuff already.
Very, very good.
Sure could use a drink. I'll check in with Crimson.
Well, if it isn't Yosemite Sam, how you doing tonight, partner?
We continue with the jokes.
Better already, hearing from someone from the States who knows the lingo.
I'm not from any states, cowpoke. District of Columbia girl here.
District of Columbia. Where is that? That's the States, no? No, it's probably Canada.
I figured you must have been coastal. You sound a little more, polished than I do.
You should hear my German.
Maybe some other time. My brain's full tonight. I had my first therapy session with a real client.
Oh, yeah? How do you think it went?
Honestly, everything we went through, like, it was not pleasant, but I think we helped. Dr. Drain, definitely not Tremere inspired.
I reckon it was a bullseye on my end. You should have seen me. Labeling, blam, disqualifying the positive, kapow.
I'm glad to hear it. Someone has got to sort these vamps out. They know how to hold on to their problems.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't kidding. Living or dead, once people hit 70, they get pretty dang set in their ways.
You know Andy still uses a typewriter? I can't get that gorgeous man to see the light. Keep it up, cowboy. You're a breath of fresh air for these ancient ones.
Anyone ever tell you you're wise beyond your years, Crimson? You must have had some life.
Interesting.
Afraid I'm exactly as wise as my years. How old do you think I am, cowboy?
Well, he's a cowboy. Of course he's gonna guess. 30.
You're somewhere around 30, right?
Close, but very far away. I'm 50 years young.
You don't look it.
50? I died around that age and I looked like shit. But you ain't a vampire.
He's a ghoul. Or familiar, or whatever they call it here.
Like I told you, I'm Andy's blood partner. He shares his blood with me too, just not enough to turn me into one of you. I've been 30 for a good while now.
But you ain't joining our team? Sounds like a story.
Interesting.
Not for tonight, buckaroo. I bet you're thirsty after a big night. Andy told me to give this to you.
Alright.
Oh yeah? What is it?
We had a group of Americans come in last week who donated their blood.
They donated into a fancy vampiric gothic vial, not a bag.
Andy can't stand the stuff. He says the blood glucose levels are too high, but he thought you'd appreciate it.
Ah, it's too sweet.
Oh, it ain't so bad. I gotta ask though, what does Andy's blood taste like?
To me, it tastes like life itself, cowboy.
Yep, very much the ghoul vibe.
I ain't sure I understand.
Alright, let's see the explanation of this universe.
Never you mind. Look, Tex, I've got some customers to serve, so go enjoy your juice, okay?
Oh, of course. I'm keen to get some rest anyway. You have yourself a fine night, Crimson.
Today we have a new feature of this podcast. I am podcast. We are making a video game. Let's play.
There he is, my incredible protege.
Outside of the NPCs interrupting me, I'm drinking some coffee. Ah, but we have a new note. April 19, 2024. Met my first client tonight. And ooh boy, did he not like me much. It sounds as though he doesn't like anybody much. So I can't be too disappointed. Poor fella. I ain't never seen anybody so high-strung. Well, maybe Pussifer Jones. Pussifer Jones. That's bad. 80 years later, and the memory of him will still make me laugh. That kitty even hated John. Muir. And I think all the animals loved him. He would hiss even when eating her food. Oh, it's a cat name. Oh, thank. Thank the antediluvians, Cain, and all the mighty vampires. That's, cat's name. It was a darnest thing. I picked up this Dr. Drain as a real shoot statement kind of fella, but I think I can help him out. If I can get him to take a nap, I think he'll be a lot less grumpy. Let's see what's in store for us.
Come on now, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Evidence stands against that reasoning, my friend. Do we need to talk about disqualifying the positive again?
All right, I get it. I guess I've been muddling through okay.
You've been doing wonderfully. I hope you are ready for a bit of a challenge tonight.
Ooh, challenge.
Your next client has been known to be somewhat difficult. Here, look at her intake form.
Isabella Deste. Dang, she's got some funny tasting hats.
Renaissance. Well, let's get a better resolution on this one. Client record. Isabella Dieste. 550 years. Gender, female. Renaissance. They are all awfully like in the zeros. I guess that's just like approximate age or something. Intake information. Isabella d'Este was a key figure in the Italian Renaissance, funding the works of Leonardo da Vinci, Andrea Mantegna, and Michelangelo. She received a humanist education and knows about history, art, music, and philosophy. She comes from a highly aristocratic background, but has endured considerable family issues through the generations. She hates that she is undergoing an existential immortality crisis, suggesting that her life and life have both been meaningless. Suggestion. Be exceedingly polite. That might be a good suggestion for an enlightened lady from the Renaissance. Oh, not escape. Click.
I think you should get along quite well then.
Walked right into that one.
Isabella is not your average vampire. She was once the powerful matriarch of one of the most influential families in Europe.
Well, the Este were big shots.
She fraternized with popes and kings, and she also wielded great power over the art world. Some say that she was the model for the Mona Lisa.
One of them highfalutin types, huh? I don't think she's gonna like me much.
She is as human as any of us, Samuel. I already know you will find a way to relate with her.
If you say so.
Remember, you can always seek my advice if you feel lost. You are not alone.
So the training wheels are not fully off.
But I hear the beating of elegant wings. Breathe, Samuel. Oh, and do be polite.
Goodness. So you are the new therapist Andromachos told me of. I was not expecting someone so rugged.
Sam Wall's at your service, ma'am.
Let's see if she likes him.
You are a therapist.
She does not like him.
Well, that's what I'm here for, ma'am.
Enough with this, ma'am. I am not running a whorehouse. You may call me Signora.
Oh, Signora Isabella. Okay, that one is going to bite me in the ass soon. Well, anyway. No, ma'am, not a whorehouse. Okay, so Signora Isabella is a serious lady. Let's continue. Oh boy. Signora, which one is the closest? Signora, I think.
All right, seen Nora?
No, I have not seen any Nora.
Well, who's Nora?
Ignoremus. It is Signora. Signora.
Well, jeez, you don't have to be so mean.
Then say it properly. Signora. Say it.
Come on, Sam. Make me, well, either proud or laugh.
Signora.
Signora. Signora.
Signora?
Porca miseria. This is not going to be easy, is it?
Therapy ain't never easy, Signora.
Ah!
So, therapy is always easy then.
I said it ain't never easy, Signora.
Is therapy easy or is it not?
Not, I guess.
Oh, how are we to examine my inner demons if your own speech is so diabolical?
You know what? Let's start over. Greetings and salutations, Signora. I am most honored to receive you in my humble office.
Very well. I suppose it will do.
Ah! He likes him because he is dedicated to, well, his job.
I'm just here to help, Signora. It says here on your intake forms that you've been having a tough time lately.
A tough time. Indeed, yes, it has been a tough time. The realization that not only am I a corpse, but that I have been a useless corpse for nearly 400 years is a tough time.
So what set off this feeling that you're a corpse?
That's a very good question with everything she has said, actually. I would have asked, how did you realize that? But the fact that he uses the word corpse is going to trigger some response, I guess.
I saw a film at the cinema.
Oh.
Hey, I love the cinema.
Probably not actors. Probably a Hollywood glamour, you know. She seems more like art film studied than Samuel is, and over
Well,
movies.
not many of our kind are movie buffs. What are some of your favorite films?
I would hesitate to say favorite, but there are some films that are more acceptable than others. For instance, Beneath the Velvet Dusk or In Search of Sadness are engaging explorations of the mortal condition.
That's some very hard movies from which I only like a little bit know about the first one. I consider myself that I like movies.
Oh, I ain't heard of them. You ever seen The Three Stooges?
Oh, Sam, yeah.
Utter vulgarity! I do not waste my time with such nonsense. Alas, these Stooges 3 would be preferable to the abomination I saw at the cinema that made me realize just how dead I am.
Alright. Oh, we're getting somewhere.
It was a most terrible film, one that shook me to my core. The pain of it lingers with me still 5 years later.
I would call of placing of the bets. My bet is so far probably Twilight or something like Avengers, or I don't know what came out 5 years ago. This is 2024. I'm coming out with a blank. She might have seen an old movie, and she's acting like it's the greatest, latest, lamest thing.
Well, movies can be pretty powerful. Heck, I remember seeing one of the first films. There was a train coming right for the audience. We thought we were dead for sure.
This film was not powerful, it was meaningless. It said nothing, did nothing, less than nothing, as loudly and garishly as possible. And the audience, fools that they were, cheered, applauded this desecration of the mind.
Oh, probably some superhero flick.
I hate this film with all my being, for it has done the cruelest thing. It has revealed the dark truth. This life that I cling to has no purpose.
Huh. Either she funded the film, and that's why she's upset, or it was one of those, like, art is pointless. Something that the Christ's ears or something. Let's see.
Dang, what the heck was this movie?
Space Wars. Rise of the Space Walker.
Ah, yes. That truly is a terrible and very true movie, which is legally distinct from the true product. And I fully agree with you, Isabella. That thing, I remember seeing that movie. And you can settle yourself in for this wonderful still in the background, because I'm going to tell you a story. Space War, the Rise of the Space Walker, or whatever the original is called, has prompted me to pick up an RPG book about Space Wars. The one about the smugglers and the pirates and whatnot, and it made me run it. I ran it back in Warsaw. I ran it for a very long time. Every time when I thought like I have no more stories in me, or maybe I should not be running this, or maybe I would like to run something else, somebody mentioned the Rise of the Space Walker to me again, and I was like, yeah, I can do a better Space Wars story. I don't need one of these fancy, powerful characters. I don't need any of those. I can literally just make a small backwater story about some people somewhere in the galaxy. And it worked. It worked so well that eventually stuff like the Wandering Space Knight on the Dust Planet, or the Revolutionary with space version of AK-47 shooting people in the back, or even the well, not the Space Walker, but you know, the kind of creatures which Space Walker was, and yeah, all of those were pretty good series. That's what you get from the Edge of the Empire or the Aligned RPGs with a very good, powerful system behind it. The long story short, Rise of the Space Walker was terrible. Watch it if you want an example of how to completely not understand a franchise you're working in. And yeah, I think further people should see it, be absolutely terrified, especially after watching the previous material or later material, to just see how not to make a movie. Yeah. And don't be afraid of the dual dynamic dice pool system, which it has. It's truly wonderful if you can get the dice, and even the app is pretty good. So that's my endorsement of Star Wars Edge of the Empire, and the Rebel one and the Jedi one, but those two I haven't played, only read through. So, yeah. Terrible movie, good RPG, decent franchise. You gotta pick what you can pick from it. Not everything there is great, but yeah, this movie. Oh, this movie. Yep, I should stop looking at this movie and we should tag along.
Well, wait a minute. Space Wars, the big science fiction franchise?
Yes.
Yes, I believe it is important to understand modern media diets.
But that's the movie that gave you your personal crisis?
Yes, it gave me one as well. Signora, we are kindred spirits, you and I.
Mind your tone. Do not think me a fool. I know it was not high art.
And Isabella, you are starting to sound like you might be of the Toriadra clan, the Toriadra bloodline.
But the money it made, it would make even the Pope blush.
Oh, yes. I've seen the movie twice actually. 2 times in cinema. One time I paid for it because I thought, hey, I like this franchise. Second time, my work decided to take us out for a movie, and for some reason, this terrible piece of cinematography has won the poll. So I walked out at about, the burning shit descending there, commenting like I'm still flying half a ship or whatever joke, which was terrible, and somehow Palpatine has returned. This is really turning into one sad old man talking to a microphone about how this movie has actually turned out his dreadful day at work, which ended up in an even more dreadful movie watching, into a pretty decent evening with some beer and friends. So, yeah, if you are planning to not finishing a movie but doing something else instead, I guess high recommendations for this one.
This stinking trash. This is what the people want.
Apparently.
You see, I understand now. My attempts to infuse art with meaning were pointless. All that I am, all that I ever was, is dead.
Ooh, is this Nosferatu thinking, or is this control fallacy? I like this control fallacy. No.
For such a complicated woman, the answers are overly simple for Signora d'Este, are they not, Samuel?
You see, I understand now. My attempts to infuse art with meaning were pointless. All that I am, all that I ever was, is dead.
She's disqualifying the positive, I guess. No.
For such a complicated woman, the answers are overly simple for Signora.
You see,
You don't seem that dead to me. We're having this conversation, ain't we? You ain't just lying there decomposing.
It is no different. I might as well be rotting in the ground.
I think you might get pretty bored.
Oh, yeah. Complaining about how terrible that movie was is much more fun.
Are you getting smart with me, boy?
Is he?
Look, I'm just talking facts. If you're saying all you are is dead, I think you might be doing some Nosferatu thinking. It ain't black and white, you're here. But let's go back to what you were saying.
Once, I elevated art, and all the world benefited. Why have I lost my power to elevate art now?
Because you're thinking to control it.
All the world benefited? There's a lot of people, and they got a lot of different preferences. You can't get them all, can you?
But I could, once upon a time.
World was smaller. Let's continue.
You can't reach everybody, Signora. I hadn't even heard of the Mona Lisa until about 1911.
Oh boy.
Did you have any schooling whatsoever?
Nope.
No, I didn't. But I don't think anyone in my time knew about the Mona Lisa either.
Oh, how wonderful. You add to my despair.
I'm saying you can't reach everyone, even in your own time.
That is true. I doubt the rabble had much of an opinion about the so-called great masters.
That's true.
We only know what we know. But you were saying.
It was all for nothing. What good was guiding Da Vinci when they sell the Mona Lisa on beer coasters?
Come on.
Oh, come on now. Just because the Mona Lisa's been on a coaster doesn't mean that's all it's ever been for. I think you might be downplaying just what an impact you've had on the world.
The world needs no help from me to reduce my life's effort to cheap commodities.
But that's how you make money. Come on.
So just because something gets printed on a t-shirt, that cancels out everything that's good about it?
Yes, that is exactly what it does.
Signora Isabella, believe me that so many things are much more powerful on a t-shirt where everybody can see it and get it.
And I thought I was good at disqualifying the positive.
It should not be so. Art should have meaning, purpose. Beauty should expose truth.
That's a should statement. Because it does, even in the cheapest form.
You're saying art should have meaning and purpose. But does all art need those things?
What is the purpose of creation otherwise?
How about if I just like doodling? Ain't that a good enough reason to draw?
That's true.
It is a pointless reason.
But it just is an entryway. Come on. You're sounding like me back when I was in the studies of art.
Well, maybe I want to do something pointless. All I'm saying is that I don't have the same shoulds you do.
Perhaps you should.
But I don't. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
That's true.
Which is speak like a peasant.
Well, can you control that, Signora?
Heck, that's what I am, Signora. Ain't nothing gonna change that reality. Let's get back to what you were saying.
But that's also true.
But it seems I am just a dead woman. A walking corpse who is not worth listening to. I should walk into the sun.
This is not a should statement, because she's not putting pressure on herself. She is labeling herself.
Now, why have you got to go and call yourself names?
They are not names, they are my reality. I am a dead woman, and I am a corpse, am I not?
Is that all you are?
Mostly the problem is in how you use those words.
This is how I am defined by the world.
This is how you define yourself.
Seems to me you're the one using them names. Hell, I think I'd be a little afraid of calling you a corpse.
That's another thing. I'm starting to enjoy predicting what he's gonna say. But have you noticed? I noticed.
As you should be. Allow me to continue.
Yeah, don't mess with the elders, boy. You're an Acilla, but you know your place. Know your place.
You know, you make me sound rather mad. Like an old woman, railing at the world, screaming into the void, all to no purpose.
I don't think what he's doing, but it's a good thing you told him that.
Look, Signora, all I'm trying to do is show you where you're a little rigid in your thinking is all. You're expecting a lot from the world and a lot from yourself. It ain't no surprise that you're going to be disappointed over and over again.
That's true.
I suppose that is some insight. Indeed, I have been in a state of disappointment from the moment I was 16.
This is very sad. It sounds like she never got out of that. We used to call it emo face.
What happened when you were 16?
I got married.
Oh boy, here we go.
I think I get it.
You absolutely do not get it. You are a man.
Well then, help me understand.
Frankie, my husband. He taught me the meaning of disappointment.
Poor Frankie.
He taught me the world was built upon lies. These things men proclaim as values. Truth, beauty, the spiritual. They were all fiction.
In many worlds and many lives, yes.
But if men did not live according to principle, I would. I would set the example and shame them all.
Alright.
Yet, what a fool I have been to think humanity had greater aims.
So, what's this greater aim you're talking about?
I received a humanist education as a child. I was taught that the pathway to God was through rationality and a questioning mind, not slavish devotion to tradition.
Oh yeah, how those high ideals of the ages long past, which we look down upon, look now. I don't even care where you are from, just look at your state of the politics. Look at them and weep.
This world is not Eden, but it could be. Or so I thought.
Yeah, unless a lot of people do a lot of things, it will not be. That's true. As the random guy on the internet you decided to listen to right now.
So you're talking about a literal pathway to God?
No, fool. A pathway to godliness. To live according to our natures. Our true natures.
Alrighty. Oh boy, that's a tough choice. Nudists? Probably not. Vampires? Nah. Being Italian? That's a toughie. Let's go with being vampires, because he's a vampire therapist.
You mean being vampires?
Come now, boy. Nothing could be further from natural.
That's also true.
All this foolish hissing and copulation and blood drinking does not bring us closer to God.
Very true.
But it does give us more time to find the path.
Well, talk to me about this pathway to God. How do you reckon we find this path?
I reckon nothing. I've always known that we can find our way back to God by fulfilling our human potential to be the greatest souls possible.
Control fallacy?
You really think we've got that much control, Signora? All we got to do is be perfect, and then we've got our pathway to the Almighty?
Yes, it seems quite clear to me.
So very human is education kind of idea, but striving for godliness doesn't mean that you should lose yourself.
Signora, if that's how it is, it ain't no wonder you ain't forgiving yourself or anyone for the slightest mistakes.
Exactly.
I would ask myself if anyone really has that much control. But keep talking.
I have always known we must master ourselves and our baser instincts. Virtue must triumph over vice.
I'm beginning to question if I labeled her correctly, the Toriador. She sounds also like a Ventru or the high and mighty Hecata. Well, let's keep going. And this sounds like a good statement. No?
You know, there have been many entities over time that have tried to control humanity. They have all failed, and the Signora would do well to remember it.
I have always known we must master ourselves and our baser instincts. Virtue must triumph over vice.
Still control.
You've been around a while, Signora. In all that time, when have we mastered ourselves and our baser instincts?
Not a single day. Men especially have no bottom to their depravity.
She is very disappointed in Frankie.
All right, fair enough. So us fellas have disappointed you every day for a few hundred years, right? Ain't that proof that nothing you do is gonna change that?
An evil thought, Mr. Sam Walls, but true, I concede.
That's true.
We're in agreement then. It's a little bit of a control fallacy to think that's gonna change because of you. Well, let's keep going.
I have always known that the earthly lives we lead are disgusting, and only war and death can come of them.
Nosferatu thinking, I'm thinking.
Now, hold up just a sec there, cowpoke. You really think all we can do is sow death and destruction?
I do not poke cows. Do I look like a farmer?
Come on, Signora. You've been alive to see what? 15, 20 billion people live and die? You really saying death and destruction is all each and every one of them ever amounted to?
Well, perhaps not individually, but as an immortal, I look at the greater arc of history.
Yeah, we're getting to the sad part of being immortal. We start to generalize things. Even happens when you just keep getting older or you move around a lot and you see a lot of the world.
Well, most of us ain't looking to contribute to the greater arc of history, but that don't mean life's pointless.
Exactly, and this is a very hard lesson to remember actually. Damn, this game is dropping such wisdom for such a silly concept of being a vampire therapist. Then again, vampire is never a silly concept, is it? It can be made into a funny one, but yeah.
That's some Nosferatu thinking, I'll tell you what. But let's continue.
I have always known the people have become fat and lazy, and living within the Garden of Eden is impossible in such a state.
Once again, control, this sounds like she has nothing she can grasp onto. No?
Our esteemed client is very good at coming up with names for others, isn't she? Perhaps you can call her out on this behavior.
Ah, that's true.
I have always known the people have become...
Sounds to me like you're coming up with labels for kicking people out of the Garden of Eden.
No. The labeling works also on others, not only on yourself. Interesting. Okay.
Is that all we amount to? Fat and lazy?
Look around your own country, boy. Look at me. See my disgusting rolls and saggy features. Would you let me into the Garden of Eden?
Well, sure, why the heck not?
That's true. Why not?
I am glad you are not the gatekeeper then.
You rather have a gatekeeper who wouldn't let you in? Listen, Signora, you gotta go easy on yourself with them labels. Well, let's keep talking, though.
I have always known we should act with dignity if we would take our place at God's side once more.
That's a shoot statement.
I think this here's the meat of it, Signora. The filet mignon.
The what now?
I fear your French is even worse than your Italian.
Yes.
Here's the thing, Signora. Who came up with all them shoulds that'll take you to God?
Why, the greatest thinkers of history that I studied in my youth. Plato, Aristotle, Cicero, Aquinas.
The great philosophers.
Sounds like a bunch of dead guys to me. They really had it all figured out way back when, huh?
Well, of course not. How foolish do you think me?
Not at all, Signora. Just questioning where all them shoulds are coming from. But let's keep going.
So you think you are so very clever, do you, boy? That by pointing out my distortions, you have won?
It's not a contest.
That is where you are truly the fool. I already know how wrong I have been, that I have been chasing an impossible fiction all my life. Indeed, I now believe that even if we did follow the pathway to God, once we reach the end, we would discover that he, too, was a work of fiction.
Let's see where this is going.
When I say God, I mean goodness, propriety, intelligence. God himself is a lie.
I see. So you've lost your faith.
Yes, it has crumbled to dust, much like myself in this fat, wretched old body.
So she's looking for her own personal renaissance. How fitting.
Beauty and truth are lies. Ideas developed by ugly men to justify their existence. While we occupy ourselves chasing those ideals, they create space wars to leech our money and our vitality.
Truly despicable.
And to think, they call me judgmental, while they created the false ideal to judge against. You don't think I'm judgmental, do you, boy?
Actually, yes, I do think you're judgmental.
I wouldn't put it that way exactly. Besides, I ain't gonna call you names. In fact, that's where I think I want to challenge you. Signora, I think the person you're judging more than anyone is yourself.
Exactly her problem.
I know you got raised with all them high ideals, so of course you're getting disappointed when nobody can reach them. That's some heavy pressure, not just on them, but on yourself. I'd ask yourself what all that pressure's doing for you. Is it bringing you any satisfaction?
Yep.
We can't always control what things are gonna be.
This is not acceptable.
Control or shoot? Or is it all or nothing?
Hold on, I know this one. What the heck she mean it's unacceptable to not be in control? Let's say that again, Signora. I got some bad news for you, Signora. None of us really has the power to change the world on our own. Not even a clever lady like yourself. I suggest we start working on ways of helping you find a way to accept the world for what it is.
But the world is base and unworthy.
Yes.
Remember that term I told you about? Nosferatu thinking? You're gonna strip all the color out of the world if you keep doing that.
Yep.
The world's a lot more than just base and unworthy.
Nosferatu thinking. I am not used to having my own thoughts thrown back at me.
That's why you came to therapy, is it not?
Well, that's why you're here, ain't it?
Ah?
I ain't gonna help you change the world, Signora. All I can do is help you find some other perspectives.
I suppose there is a certain simpleton's wisdom in the way you speak.
Yeah. What did they call it? The peasant smarts?
Thanks, I guess.
Very well, boy. I will consider what you have said. We will meet again in exactly 4 weeks. Do we have an understanding?
Yes, indeedy, Signora.
Ugh. Please learn to speak properly by then.
That's gonna be a hard ask of Sam.
Well done, Samuel. I believe you handled Signora d'Este quite well.
You kidding? That lady straight up hates my guts.
Samuel, if Isabella d'Este hated your guts, she would not be shy about telling you so.
Yeah.
That I believe.
Older we get, the harder it is to gain a different perspective. Have patience. We are not all as wise as Samuel Walls.
Guess it's just that simpleton's wisdom, as the Signora called it.
Well,
Do not adopt her labels, Samuel. I will not stand for it.
yep.
I know she was a challenge, but you rose to it as I knew you would. I think you deserve a night of hard drinking. What do you say?
Why do you want Sam to get drunk, Andy? Do you just want to do things with him?
You don't need to tell me twice. All right, Andy. I'll see you later then.
Ah, that's what he wants. Yeah.
Indeed, Samuel. Enjoy yourself. Excellent work tonight. Rest in peace.
Dang, I think that's enough abuse for one night. I could use a drink and a quiet night.
Yeah, let's read what he thinks. Session 1. Isabella d'Este thinks her life was meaningless because modern art is meaningless too. Apparently, this rise of the Space Walker movie set her off. Oh, it set me off as well. I understand you, Signora. Extremely high-minded. Major issues with her former husband. Thinks most people are corrupt, especially menfolk. Used to be a devout Catholic, not so much anymore. Likes to be in control, maybe a lot of control fallacies. Next time I'll dig into her family stuff. Seems like there's a lot of anger there. I don't know if the exclamation mark on the end is like, oh yeah, we need to do this, or yeah, let's... I don't know why I expect malice of the protagonist. And I don't know why I keep pressing escape to leave this screen.
Hey, cowboy. Why the long face?
Yeah, let's finish the night and then we'll have a break.
I used to say the same thing to my princess.
Oh,
Your daughter.
My horse, actually. She never really understood the joke, but I still like telling it to her.
oh yeah.
You didn't answer my question, Gunslinger. What's got you down?
Oh, I just finished up with my second client. She gave me a tongue lashing to remember her by. You ever talk to someone who's so educated and refined that they make you feel like a space alien?
Yep.
Only everyone I ever met in law school. At least until I learned to speak their language.
You're a lawyer?
Was, and no, I wasn't the blood-sucking kind before you start with the vampire jokes. Just a wide-eyed DC do-gooder.
Mhm.
But I get what you're talking about. People can use language like a membership card. You don't speak the lingo, you don't get in.
Yep. Gating.
Well, that's just what I mean. I just ain't sure I've got the lingo for a 500-year-old high society Renaissance woman.
Well, how do you think your session went? Think she heard you?
I think she heard me in the end because it's... Yeah.
Well, she did say that I'd given her some stuff to think about. And to tell the truth, she seemed kind of embarrassed about that.
So what? If she heard you, I'd take the W, cowboy.
For our first session, yeah.
Take the W. What, the wagon?
The win, Gramps. Maybe she isn't gonna relate to you, but that doesn't mean she can't hear you.
That's true.
You're probably right. I guess I'll take the W. And while you're at it, I'll take some B too. That's blood, see?
What are you in the mood for? Men? Women? Something a little more off the beaten path?
I think I'll have some takeaway tonight. What have you got?
Here, try this. Should put some color in those cheeks.
You really ain't squeamish, huh, Crimson?
Nah, healthy blood never hurt anyone. I've been hanging around vampires for 20 years, and they aren't so scary.
Maybe they are even more human here than they are in VtM. Who knows? The Masquerade has pretty human vampires.
Not even Bird.
What, that old pointy-eared teddy bear? He's a total sweetheart, unless someone gets aggressive or touchy with the customers.
What does he do then?
They get a stern warning.
Yes.
And if they don't listen?
Why, then he eats them.
Yes. Like, what else would he do?
Well, maybe he is a teddy bear. I met Teddy Roosevelt back in the night, and I'm pretty sure he would have done the same thing.
Oh boy.
Speaking of which, I got a thirst something fierce. I think I'll head back to my coffin for a little rest. But you have a good night, Crimson.
You too, Sam. Don't let the Draculas bite.
Time to crack open a warm one.
Oh.
That's the good stuff. Now, maybe I can find a quote from one of my favorite books that'll help give me a little inspiration.
Let's see.
Or I could watch the Three Stooges hit each other a whole bunch. Or I could just go to sleep. What's it gonna be, Sammy boy?
Oh, we get to choose. I know what sleeping is like. I've seen the Three Stooges, but Torah, let's read some Torah.
My profession is to be always on the alert, to find God in nature, to know his lurking places.
Lurking places.
I always like that quote. I ain't a God-fearing kind, but it's true. There's a natural beauty behind the man-made world if you know where to look. Isabella d'Este's all culture and breeding, but underneath, she's got her vulnerable and beautiful humanity too. I just gotta remember that.
Yep.
All right, that's enough for one night. Time for some rest. I hope my next climb will be a little easier.
Alrighty. So, do we end here or do we go through the loading screen? Yeah, let's go through the loading screen. I thank you all for watching, and as soon as the NPCs will interrupt me, here we go.
Samuel,
Interruption.
good evening. I am glad to see you looking so fresh and well slept.
Good, and I hope I will see you next time, or you will see me, also fresh and well slept. I have been Dogyno, or Shimon if you know me, and I thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, let your friends know, and yeah, I'm slowly getting up my scripts, and I guess soon we'll be making a video, or you will get to enjoy a video I'll make, which will concern some proper RPG stuff, since we already started on this trend, and I'm also currently running it. We'll be starting with probably Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition, as where to begin, what to look out for, and how to get you started. I've already a video about that in a different channel, which I can link to, and it is mostly in Slovak, so I'm going to do a different version of that because I'm not quite happy of how it turned out, as it was based on D&D players and they wanted a lot of mechanical concerns there, which aren't really the best part about the game. So, enjoy your night, enjoy your day, and see you next time. Bye bye.